Okay, we're going to create a 12-step color wheel in Illustrator. We're going to take a hue and we're going to create tints of that color and shades of that color. So we're going to start off by creating a new document. You want to make sure it's letter size paper. I'll give it a name 12 step, and then you should put your name at the end for your file name. Okay, we'll hit OK. First thing we're going to do is show our rulers, view and rulers, show rulers. We're going to right click on our ruler here and we're going to change it to inches. All right, so we should have inches on the side and inches on the top. Okay, first thing we're going to do, we're going to go over to our rectangle tool, click on it, keep it pressed, hit the ellipse tool, and we're going to click once, change it to an inch. So we're gonna move it to the middle, 4.25, and then 1 inch from the top. Again, select and drag out using Option and Shift. Then I'm going to select both of these, edit, copy first, and then you want to paste in place. All right, so we're double clicking on the rotate tool, 30 degrees, set. All right, so then we have that one. We can copy object and then paste in place. Then we can double click on our rotate tool. We could go, okay, we'll copy again, edit, paste in place. Okay, double click, hit 30 again. Okay, so then we're gonna copy, paste in place, double click on the rotate, 30 degrees, and then we'll have one more. That should make it a 12-step color wheel. Edit, paste in place, 30. There's different ways you could do this. I just showed you one way that everything's set up correctly, and you can see that they have circles that are directly across from each other. There's a way that I'm going to move this up a little bit so I can show you a different way. If you select your circle and you create one here, and then I want to make a line, so I want to make 12 circles pretty quickly, so I'll just move it to the right. Object, blend options, 10. Okay, had it right the first time. Make. Okay, that's 12. All right, so then what you do is you create an ellipse. Let's go 6 inches by 6 inches. And then we select our little circles that's going to go around the circle, the bigger circle. And we're going to go to Object, Bend, Blend, Replace Spine. And you can see that it's going around the spine here. In order for it to space out all the way around, you can click on, should be the scissors tool, which is under the eraser, and you click on this point here. The problem is with this method is you don't have the circles being directly across from each other. So if you would do the math, you could probably get it right if you have a tighter circle like this. But it's also, if you look at it really closely, that some of these circles have less space in between, so it doesn't really give you the exact same space in between. But this is another way of creating your 12-step color wheel, or creating circles around a path. But we're going to use this one. So, okay, so once we have our 12-step color wheel and it looks good in the middle of our paper here, we're going to start creating the different colors that are going to go inside the middle of the circles. So our first color should be, we're going to start off by having yellow on the top here. So what I want to do is pull up the colors palette and show RGB. So we go to the palette, we're showing RGB, and then let's see where the show options. All right, so we want to get rid of the blue, and we're going to have 100% red and 100% green, which having additive color and RGB, this is how we get yellow. So select our top one and get rid of the blue. As you can see, if we have full 255 here in the numbers section, then it would be white. So if everything was 255, it would be white. So if we only had red, it would be red. So red and green makes yellow when we're using additive. All right, so we're going to count 3 over, and then the next one would be blue. So we want to take everything down but the blue. All right, so then 1, 2, 3, and this one here should be red. So we're going to take everything down but the red. All right, so that's our 3 primary colors. So we're going to create these colors so we could do a between. So I'm going to create one, then the second one, third one, and then the fourth one. So the first and last one should be this yellow. All right, so then we have that as being red, and this one's going to be blue. Okay, so let's do our secondary color. So between yellow and red, let's move this back, it should be orange. So then if we drag the green to the middle, so the middle would be about, we're doing 255, it should be 127 around, should be around the middle there. You can see it looks orange enough. Then we can create secondary between yellow and blue. So let's bring our blue back up. And between yellow and blue should be a green. More of a lighter blue here for additive. All right, so then let's go between the middle of red and blue. Should be like a purple. You guys have to kind of eye it up here, because for me, additive colors is a little bit trickier than mixing colors using like what we're going to do for the second part of this, and we're going to add the colors using the Play-Doh, and then we're just going to stick it to the paper. This year I wanted to make smaller circles just so that you could put it in there. You don't have to use so much Play-Doh. So then we want to let's make this a little bit neater. Distribute centers. Okay, so we have purple. We have this is our secondary color, secondary color, secondary color. So now we have to make tertiary colors. So let's start off here and just duplicate this one. So this one should be a little bit more yellow. So let's move. Okay, so now we'll take primary and then move it to the center, and this one should be a little bit more red. Move this. So we're gonna Alright, so then we'll take the red, move it in between, give it more more blue, and then this one should be purple. A little bit more red. Okay. Let's take our primary and bring it over. Should be blue. A little bit more purple on this side. Okay. So we'll take our primary again and move it over in between our secondary color and our primary color, and this should be the tertiary color. Needs a little bit more, should be a little bit of a lighter blue. We'll take tertiary, we'll make a tertiary color from our primary and secondary. So we're going to add more yellow to it. It'd be a little bit too much, but you guys get the idea here. So this is how we're going to set it up for our putting our colors into our circles here. So I'm going to select one, use my eyedropper. Should be the second one. Then I'm hitting Command to change to the cursor here for the the selection tool, and I'm just clicking on each one while I'm still on the eyedropper. So I'm just going around and clicking each. It's a little bit of a drastic change. This should be blue, and then so I have 1, 2, 3. All right, so that could be my color wheel. So on the bottom here, we're going to take a primary, or I mean, you could take any of the colors on your color wheel, but I suggest just taking a primary, bringing a duplicate down, and then what you're going to do is you're going to do tints and you're going to do shades. So this one's going to be my tint. For this one, you can use the blend. So what I want is 5 circles here. So I'm going to have 3 in between. So I'm going to go to Object, Blend, and Blend option. So change this to a 3 for the steps. Hit OK, Object, or Object, Blend, Make. All right, so we have 5 here, and you can see that it's giving the yellow tint. So the tint is always to white. So that's our tint. And for the shade, we'll take yellow again, set it up here and here, and then we'll just change our last circle to black. And the same thing, we don't have to go and set the settings for this because it's already set to 3, so we just have to hit Make. And you can see that it's adding black to the yellow, giving it the shade. So once you have all of these done here, I want you to label them here. So this could be labeled as tint, and then I want you to label the bottom as shade. So just make sure it's not too far off the edge of the page. And then for each of the colors up here, I want you to name it the color, red, and then what each color is. So red primary. Okay, so then if you have over here, should be blue primary. Then you could go up top, and if it's too far up, you can move it down. And this is yellow primary. So you're going to go all the way around. So you have primary colors, then you have tertiary colors, and then you have your secondary colors. So primary colors, tertiary colors, secondary colors, and all of these should be labeled. All right, so then and then tint and shade. Once you have everything finished here, set up, also you need to put your name on it. So your name would go up top. Don't type name. I had someone type name before. Make sure it's your name up top, because what I want you to do is, you could keep them labeled, but you need to take all of the color off of your circles here. So you could do it however you do it. You could just make sure it's set to white, and then once it's set to white, I'm going to have you print it, and then once you print it, you're going to show me, and then I'll give you the Play-Doh so that you can mix the colors in Play-Doh and fill in your circles as you mix the Play-Doh. So you're going to have to mix the three primary colors to make all the colors that you have there. Then you're going to mix white to get the tint, and then black to get the shade.